Hello everyone and welcome to the weekly review of the Traders Academy Co-op weekly performance. My name is Jordan Kuzmanov, guys, and in this short video I'm going to get you on a journey behind the doors of the Traders Academy Co-op. I will show you how we work, what kind of setups and trading methods we're using for our personal trades, of course, what we're teaching, and all of that combined, of course, for a full picture of the Traders Academy Co-op. So before the chart, let's cover first of all the report. The report is being sent out to you every single day. On the very top you have educational materials, then right below it you will find the watch list, and the watch list is a table containing instruments that we're trading in the given time frames. Of course, all of those are clickable and you go to an image once you click on that. Below here you can find also comments, and these comments are more or less a highlight of the live trading rooms and the table. So first of all, we should mention that it is NFP week, which means traditionally ranging markets. It's also already December, so we are going to get less and less moves, most likely ranging markets. That means it would be best if we start tightening the exposure, and if you have any longer term trades, look for closing them, because you know there will be at least 2 weeks of dead periods. So that covered. Now back to the report. Euro Aussie is the first one, starting from the weekly chart. The expectation here after the bullish cycle was to see bearish continuation lower. This one was covered multiple times, along with the bearish divergence on the daily chart, and kind of a false break, or at least the price was playing around this trend line right here. And then we came to the 4-hour chart, where the sell setups were triggered with the breakout below this zone. This is where we said, okay, we're looking for pullbacks to go ahead and sell. There is, of course, another thing or alternative count here that we can go ahead and use. That would be this one. Okay, so that's why I told you guys in the last LTR I'm looking for this zone to be broken, because the trend line here is more or less the same level as with the highs. The structure, however, that is being developed here, it doesn't look very attractive, and since it's Friday and we have NFP, I've decided to close my position right here. Okay, pretty much near the breakout zone. So just not to get that extra exposure, we don't need it on Friday with NFP days, and we can clearly see that we gave it a chance to move. It's not happening, it's not gaining the momentum. Maybe it will push and drop lower, but at that stage it would be a simple gamble and not a realistic trade anymore. Euro Pound is the next one that we've been following. Here also I'm going to share with you two alternative scenarios. This is the daily chart, and we have a pretty good zone right there where we expect with the bullish divergence to see pushes to the upside. Now when we go to the live chart, actually we need weekly here for a second, you will see that we're at the very bottom of this range. Okay, something like this, right? This trend line was broken, and again, what we've been talking about during the weekend, yesterday mainly, is that we can expect the price to drop lower versus that zone, at least before the continuation upward. So don't when you see this kind of images, don't immediately go ahead and buy, right? We need to see the confirmations before we can look for the buys. So on the 4-hour chart, what we said is that pullbacks here could provide us with the short-term sell opportunities, and then depending on how the price is going to react around these levels, we can let it ride if we get the breakouts, or we can start looking for the reversal and the buys. So Euro pound, very short term in my opinion, remains bearish. We still don't have anything that suggests the reversal, even though we are in a good zone and good level. Euro Kiwi. Actually 4-hour chart. In the 4-hour chart, we came to this fantastic zone, bullish divergence right here, bullish divergence on the big one, RSI, and so on, plus the level, of course. And here we have a beautiful zone which was broken, divergence now created. Now the idea is to see pullbacks. Okay, what we wanted to confirm first of all, of course, is that we're going to start that push to the upside. Okay, because technically speaking, we're still inside bearish momentum, and that move could continue lower and lower and lower. So that's why we need to see a reversal pattern first of all, excuse me, before we can look for these buys, right? And you can see what happens. That's the high. We never got the breakout. The price is continuing to push lower. So the idea is very simple. We use multi time frames, and we know the direction on each given time frame along with the counts that we are doing, whether this is Elliot waves count or cycles is what is using, and so on. When we reach a place where the price is supposed based on our analysis to push higher, okay, let's say like in this case, we need to see the confirmation for this idea, because this right here is just a potential idea. Again, it's in theory, right? It's not a fact. So the best way to do it is wait for confirmations. So if you're part of the Trading Academy Club, guys, Traders Academy Club, always wait for the confirmations. When you see a line like this going on, line like that going, that doesn't mean sell immediately right here. And that's why it's really important, again, if you're a member of the TAC, to go over at least these webinars right here. At least we have plenty of educational materials, but this is more or less the mandatory part. All right, then we move on to euro dollar. Forgot to close those. And for euro dollar, if we start from the higher time frames, we see the bullish pressure being developed on the weekly chart. Daily chart created this pattern, so we set pullbacks and buys. And now on the 4-hour chart, we got the breakout of this trend line, and the idea is that if that was a pullback here, we should be continuing higher now. Okay, we really enjoyed that rally here. We had trades here, and now the expectation is to get the pullbacks before the next rally, right? As you can see, we never got these deeper pullbacks. The idea here was to get either ABCD, or the alternative will be that we might be developing sort of a sideways correction here, right? Sideways move. So let's see how it will develop. Again, inside NFP weeks, this is totally acceptable and understandable, so we need to be patient, that's all. Pound cut. Pound cut is the next one. On the weekly chart, we have the trend line, we have the bearish divergence, and on the daily chart, we can see a very nice resistance zone along with divergence number 1 and false break number 1, and now divergence number 2 very likely developing along with these candle patterns. Pardon. So what we want to see here is a drop down. Okay, that's the idea. As simple as that, no need to go ahead and waste more time on it. Pound yen, the next pound pair. We're following that specific zone and level. We have also, from price action, we can see it's a good resistance level. And from Fibonacci's, we pretty much get the Fibos inside that zone, okay? The bearish divergence is clear and it's developing there. So, sorry, on the 4-hour chart, we still have the bullish pressure, okay? We don't have any divergences. We got the breakouts here. And that means as long as we're below that zone, we can be enjoying the short-term buys. And once we reach these levels or close to them, that could be slightly lower, that could be slightly higher. But once we get there and we start getting the reversal patterns, we can start looking for possible sell opportunities. So as long as we're here, we are looking at the buys. Okay, this is in the short term. The idea, look for buys. All right, Kiwi Cat working absolutely amazing. This is one of the best performers. It's super trending pair. If you manage to catch the direction, and I would strongly recommend you to stick with the higher time frames. Okay, it's much easier to get there, but the idea here was simple. Again, bullish divergence coming after this triple cycle, and we're expecting to see something like that here. Okay, pullbacks. Those pullbacks on the weekly chart, of course, could mean we have a very decent rally for a few months. So we're looking for the buys, we're enjoying the buys, and currently we want to see pullbacks that we can go ahead and buy once again. Okay, pushing up now, so hidden divergence developed, we can see the reaction immediately. Kiwi dollar is another NSD pair, and here again we have the triple cycle with the bullish divergence, and basically we're expecting to see more or less the same thing. On the daily chart, the first 5-leg structure developed, pullbacks and continuation upwards. Okay, as you can see, possible divergence is now developing on the MAs. It didn't tick yet, so that's why it's still possible. Not MAs, sorry, histogram. MAs are pushing higher, RSI is pushing higher. That means pullbacks and buys should be the real deal for this pair for, I don't know, the near future here. Okay, that could be anything from a few weeks to 2 or 3 months, based on these time frames, of course. Dollar yen. Dollar yen completed this triple cycle, okay, or a double cycle, and the bearish pressure is also there. We got the first attempt to go ahead and create new lower lows. It failed. Instead, it created another high, and again this high is coming with the divergence here. Then we got the push lower. Excuse me. This push lower on the 4-hour chart came here with bearish divergence and breakouts. We can't really call it a convergence here. We might call it convergence on the 1-hour chart, because this is not really a move with pullback on H4, but the momentum is there, and the expectation here would be to see further continuation lower. Okay, so that's the current situation. Started pushing slightly to the downside. It takes time to develop, is the higher time frame, so we need more time about it. All right, we have one index on the list, and here we have a double cycle. This is the daily chart. Okay, bearish divergence, which is coming more or less from the weekly chart here. Okay, Bearish divergence could be seen on the daily chart on the last leg right there. This is the one, and here we're trying to develop lower lows. We did actually, but we never got the close below it. And here the expectation is drop, pullbacks, and continuation and moves out. So far stuck inside this 50% retracement range. Okay, so that's a quick update here. And again, it's not really interesting because we didn't really get any major moves. It's up and down, up and down. But after NFP next week, we're probably going to get completed here with these trades and ideas. BMW, Deutsche Bank and Societe Generale, no real changes, no need to update them. If you're curious about the ideas behind them, please refer to the previous week's recordings, weekly recordings. Okay, no need to cover them. So that would be all, guys. Wishing you a lovely weekend ahead, and if you have any questions, of course, don't forget to use the comments below. I invite you to join our Telegram group. Okay, it's completely free, so you can find the links below. Have a good one.